Welcome back to Car Auto Tune-Up, the place where we get under the skin of the latest rides and bring you the full story, not just the headlines. Today, we're taking a long, close look at the 2026 Mazda CX-20, a compact crossover that has been stirring up plenty of buzz. Is it a replacement for the CX-3, a smaller sibling to the CX-30? Maybe both. Whatever it is, Mazda is setting the stage for what could be one of the most stylish, driver-focused small SUVs in the coming years. Let's walk around it, sit inside, dive into performance, and see if the CX-20 lives up to the Mazda reputation. As we move around the exterior, the first thing that hits you is Mazda's signature design language, still evolving under their Kodo, soul of motion philosophy. On the CX-20, that translates into a front fascia that feels alive. The grille, wide and bold, stretches from headlight to headlight, but it's not just big for the sake of being big. The mesh has depth, layered textures that catch the light as you move around the car. The Mazda logo sits proudly in the center, almost glowing under the slim LED strip that runs across the front. The headlights themselves are narrow, knife-like, and for higher trims, likely feature Mazda's adaptive LED technology, headlights that can bend their beam into corners and even block sections of light to avoid blinding oncoming drivers. Down below, the lower bumper features aerodynamic vents, possibly functional for brake cooling, but also styled to give the CX-20 a lower, sportier stance than you'd expect from a compact crossover. Swinging around to the side profile, Mazda has really gone for clean, flowing lines. There's a subtle crease running from the front fender through the door handles and fading toward the rear, giving the body a sense of motion even when parked. The roofline gently slopes down, not as aggressively as a coupe SUV, but enough to give a sleek silhouette without sacrificing rear headroom. Wheel sizes could range from 16 inches on entry trims up to stylish 18 or even 19-inch alloys for higher models. The designs are typically Mazda simple, elegant, with a bit of a twist, like Y-spoke or turbine-style wheels that add depth. The wheel arches have just enough cladding to give a rugged crossover vibe, but not so much that it feels plasticky or cheap. Expect at least 7 paint color options, from classic Mazda Soul Red Crystal, which always looks fantastic, to machine gray, snowflake white pearl, and maybe a few new tones exclusive to the CX-20. At the rear, Mazda has gone for restraint and precision. The taillights are slim, with a circular light signature tucked inside, a design cue we've seen evolve across the Mazda lineup. They look sharp when illuminated at night, almost jewel-like. The hatch itself has a nice sculpted look, with a small integrated spoiler at the top of the rear glass. The bumper design avoids being bulky. Integrated reflectors, a tighted diffuser-like element, and possibly hidden exhaust tips for hybrid models. What really works here is balance. The rear doesn't feel overdone. It feels clean, tight, and modern, something that should age well over time. Step inside, and this is where Mazda always punches above its weight. Slide into the driver's seat, and you're welcomed by an interior that could easily pass for something from a premium German brand. The dashboard is horizontal, minimalist, with a driver-centric focus. Materials are high-quality soft-touch plastics, leather or leatherette on the armrests, and tasteful stitching that runs across the dash. Mazda is famous for putting care into the tactile feel of knobs and switches, and you notice it right away. The rotary controller on the center console feels solid. The climate control knobs click with precision, and even the window switches have a weight to them that suggests quality. The infotainment system will likely be a 10.25-inch or even 12-inch screen on higher trims, with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. Mazda's interface has traditionally been knob-based rather than full touchscreen, but newer models are blending both. Expect crisp graphics, fast response times, and a layout that avoids clutter. The gauge cluster may be part digital, with a central screen flanked by traditional dials, or in higher trims, a fully digital customizable cluster. A head-up display could also make its way here, projecting speed and navigation directly onto the windshield. Seating comfort is excellent in most Mazdas, and the CX-20 should continue that tradition. The front seats are designed with Mazda's Jinbei high philosophy, driver and car in harmonious, so they hold you in place without being too aggressive. Cushioning is firm but supportive, Designed for long drives, the rear seats offer decent space for a compact crossover. 2 adults will be comfortable, 3 might be a squeeze, but that's par for the segment. Cargo space is practical, with a low-load floor and foldable rear seats that create a flat loading surface. Technology and features are likely to include a wireless charging pad, multiple USB-C ports, dual-zone automatic climate control, a premium Bose sound system for upper trims, and maybe even Mazda's new connected services with remote start, vehicle tracking, and over-the-air updates. Safety tech should be comprehensive, with Mazda's iActive Sense suite bringing adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, and automatic emergency braking. Now, let's under the hood, or at least talk about what's under it. Rumors point to a 1.5-liter petrol engine paired with mild hybrid technology. That means a small electric motor assists the engine during acceleration, smooths out start-stop transitions, and harvests energy during braking. Don't expect blistering speed, it's more about efficiency and refinement. But knowing Mazda, the steering will be direct, the suspension tuned for balance, and the chassis eager to dance through corners. That's the Mazda way. Some whispers even suggest the possibility of a rotary-based hybrid range extender, is something Mazda has been experimenting with for years. If that makes it into the CX-20, it would be a unique selling point, combining Mazda's heritage with modern hybrid tech. Performance numbers aren't confirmed, but we can speculate. Around 120 150 horsepower for the base engine, with fuel economy in the range of 35 40 miles per gallon depending on trim and drivetrain. All-wheel drive could be an option, especially for markets with harsher winters. The CX-20 isn't about being the fastest in its class, it's about being the most enjoyable to drive. And if Mazda nails that, it will stand out against rivals like the Toyota Corolla Cross, Honda HR-V, and Hyundai Kona. Let's talk pricing. If the CX-20 replaces the CX-3, it needs to start competitively. Expect a base price around $22,008 $24,000, climbing to $28,008 $30,000 for higher trims with all the bells and whistles. That would place it just under the CX-30, which makes sense in Mazda's lineup. Mazda has to balance keeping it affordable while packing in enough premium touches to make it feel special. So, after this long walk around, interior deep dive, performance speculation, and price talk, where do we land? The 2026 Mazda CX-20 shapes up as a compact SUV that blends style, driving fun, and value in a way few rivals can. The exterior is modern and elegant, the interior is upscale and driver-focused. The performance promises Mazda's trademark handling, and the pricing could make it a sweet spot in the market. If you're someone who wants a car that looks sharp, feels premium, and is genuinely fun to drive even in the compact crossover space, this is a vehicle to keep an eye on. We'll be following Mazda closely as official specs and test drives become available, and you can be sure we'll bring you the first impressions as soon as we get behind the wheels. That's our deep dive on the 2026 Mazda CX-20. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe to Car Auto Tune-Up, and ring the bell so you don't miss our future reviews. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you choose the CX-20 over a Corolla Cross or HR-V? Does the idea of a rotary hybrid excite you? We want to hear what you think.